The hotel lobby reeked of polished wood and overpriced lavender candles, but the scent couldn't mask the sourness in my gut as my sister, Lila, flung my duffel bag onto the marble floor. It landed with a thud, zipper half open, spilling a crumpled receipt and a stray sock. Her eyes, sharp as broken glass, barely met mine. "You're such a mess, Clara," she hissed, her voice low but venomous, like she'd been holding it in for years. I froze, my fingers twitching at my sides, the weight of her words heavier than the bag itself. We were supposed to be here for a weekend getaway, a chance to rebuild the brittle bond we'd shared since childhood. But something in her tone, in the way her lips curled, told me this wasn't just about a messy bag. I knelt to gather my things, the cold marble biting my knees through my jeans. The lobby buzzed faintly. Murmured conversations, the clink of champagne glasses from the bar, the distant hum of an elevator. Lila stood over me, arms crossed, her designer purse slung over her shoulder like a shield. "You're always like this," she said, louder now, drawing a glance from a bellhop. "Clinging to junk, dragging us all down." Her words stung, but it was the us that lodged in my throat. Who was she talking about? Our parents were long gone, and it had just been the two of us for years. Or so I thought. My fingers brushed the receipt as I stuffed it back into the bag. A coffee shop stub, dated last week, from a place I'd never been to. Odd, but I brushed it off, my mind already spiraling. Lila had been distant for months, her texts curt, her calls dodged. I'd chalked it up to her new job, her new life in the city. But now, standing in this gleaming hotel with its fake warmth, doubt crept in like damp rot. Was she hiding something? Or was I just paranoid, reading betrayal into every sharp word? "Excuse me, Miss Clara." The voice was smooth, professional, cutting through my haze. The hotel manager, a wiry man with a name tag reading Elliot, approached. His smile too polished, his eyes too knowing. I stood, brushing my hands on my jeans, my heart thudding unevenly. Lila's posture stiffened, her fingers tightening on her purse strap. "There's something you need to see," Elliot said, gesturing toward a side office. His tone was calm, but there was an edge to it, like he was delivering news he'd rather not touch. The office was small, all dark wood and leather, with a single window overlooking the city's neon veins. Elliot closed the door softly, the click loud in the silence. Lila hovered near the exit, her face unreadable, but her foot tapped a nervous rhythm. "What's this about?" I asked, my voice thinner than I wanted. Elliot slid a tablet across the desk, its screen glowing with a grainy security feed. My breath caught as I recognized the footage. The hotel parking lot, time-stamped last night. There was Lila, leaning against a car, her arms around a man I knew too well. Mark, my fiancé. The world tilted. My knees buckled, and I gripped the desk, the wood's grain digging into my palms. Mark's hands were on her waist, their laughter silent but vivid, her head tilted back in a way I'd never seen. Not with me. Not ever. The footage looped, each frame a fresh stab, her fingers in his hair, his lips brushing her ear. I wanted to scream, to deny it, but the truth was a blade, slicing through every excuse I'd ever made for Lila's coldness, for Mark's late nights. "Why show me this?" I whispered, my voice raw, my eyes burning as I turned to Elliot. He hesitated, then slid a folded letter across the desk. "This was left for you," he said, his voice softer now, almost pitying. The paper was heavy, cream-colored, with my name scrawled in Mark's handwriting. My hands shook as I opened it, each word a fresh wound. "Clara, I'm sorry. I love her. I always have." Lila's voice broke the silence, sharp and defensive. "You don't understand, Clara. You never did." Her words were a plea, but her eyes were defiant, no trace of guilt. I stared at her, my sister, my betrayer, and saw the truth I'd ignored for years. She'd always wanted what I had, always envied the life I'd built. And Mark, he'd been hers all along, hadn't he? The late-night calls, the work trips. The way he'd smile at her just a little too long. I wanted to hate her, to hate them both, but all I felt was a hollow ache, like my heart had been carved out and left bleeding on that cold marble floor. You were my family, I said, my voice breaking, the words barely audible. Lila flinched, but she didn't move closer. She didn't apologize. The silence stretched, heavy with all we'd never say. Elliot cleared his throat, shifting uncomfortably. There's more, he said almost reluctantly. He tapped the tablet, pulling up another clip. This one showed the lobby hours earlier. Lila, slipping an envelope under the desk, her eyes darting nervously. She paid to keep this quiet, Elliot said, his voice low. But I thought you deserved to know who you really are to them. The words hit like a slap. Not just a sister, not just a fiancée, but a pawn in their game. The betrayal wasn't just love. It was calculated, deliberate, a plan to erase me from their story. I clutched the letter, its edges crumpling in my fist, and turned to Lila. Get out, I said, my voice steady now, cold as the marble under my feet. She opened her mouth, but no words came. For the first time she looked small, exposed, her secrets laid bare. As she walked away, her heels clicking against the floor, I realized the truth. I wasn't the mess she'd called me. I was the one who'd trusted, who'd loved, who'd believed in family. And now I was the one left standing, broken but not destroyed, ready to rebuild from the ashes of their lies.